if you serve the the company you work for directly as an owner, with everything at stake, you're going to make more balanced decisions, and you're going to do them cooperatively, and you're going to do them from the point of view of the mission of the company, which is, if we fuck up, then we fuck up for a worldwide network of farmers who, for a part of their lives, rely on us.
This episode is proudly brought to you by Mapper Forward's workshop, It's Time to Become a Coffee Consultant. Learn how to diversify your revenue streams and create freedom from your day job while saying goodbye to that alarm clock forever by becoming a consultant within the coffee industry or directly to consumers who have shifted towards home brewing and home roasting. Protect your income from challenging times in the coffee value chain by taking this course today. Go to mapperforward.coffee/workshops or click the link in the show notes for details. Welcome to the Daily Coffee Pro by Mapper Forward, friends. I'm your host, Lee Safar, and this is episode 3 of a very spicy 5-part series with Lennart from This Side Up Trading. Lennart, we're talking about the difference between independent coffee traders and the big guys. We are not here saying that everyone's an asshole or everyone's a demon or anything like that. We are simply comparing the business models side by side and taking a deep look into this kind of intersectional moment in our industry's history where we have an opportunity to lean into changing the game, or we continue going down this track. And there are external forces like climate, like labor migration, a lot of external forces outside of coffee that are going to really play a role in the availability of coffee into the future. And the decisions that we make today are going to meet up with those forces, and we will have to pay the price, whether it's a positive or negative cost at that time, based on the choices and decisions that we make today. Now, you're an independent, values-based trading house. Can you maintain being that way for the long term? And what are the barriers to that?
Oh, so as I said in the previous episode, I've been inspired. I've been really doing research into what values-based companies in other sectors, which ones exist for hundreds of years, which ones can keep it up. And the answer is that the culture around the company culture has to be so strong to be able to survive the leaving of the founder, right? So the founder and the founders, in our case, me and Martin, our vision is still what people follow. So we're putting all our effort into like taking that thing that is now very much in our heads and in our hearts and making it into the company structure, into the company. We're creating a founding document, call it a source document, that is actually the voice of This Side Up. That is separate from our personal voice and our personal characters. But throughout the last 11 years, it's become very easy to say, when we have a problem, we can say, well, what's the This Side Up thing to do here?
Oh, and I love that.
Because it speaks, right? We've been feeding this thing like it's in the end, because it's pure and we've never made any sacrifice. We've never given into sacrificing our values. This thing is just completely pure. And we are certain that the culture is already very strong around it, because new people coming into This Side Up, they feel it. They go, we don't have to explain that much. They felt it before.
You live your
you,
values.
exactly. So it's just you live your values, and then there's a place. Obviously, there has to be a role for you in the company as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we're doing all. I mean, we've had the same pay for every employee since the beginning. So everyone earns the same.
Love that.
They sign up. Another thing is our operations manager. He is no longer like he was. Like, I don't know. He fell down the stairs and he had an accident, and now we've had to do his job.
Mm-hmm.
And it actually released a lot of energy because we thought now we're not there's no hierarchy in the company anymore.
Mm-hmm.
We are all directly serving this side up. So these are just some aspects of the culture internally that really help to maintain the you get rewarded for living your values. You don't get rewarded for elbowing or all these kind of things. So that I think is very strong. But now what we have to do is find a structure that is not a limited liability company, which this setup is right now, but somehow make the company unsellable. Because the answer to your question is we have to make culture that's so strong, supported by a structure that makes it impossible for somebody to sell parts of the company. The moment that you leave that door open is when money-based decisions from outside the people who are actually running the company will come in, and they will at some point. We are going to grow. We are going to attract a lot of energy, it's going to be profitable to be connected to
this side
up at some point, right? So we really need to be very careful at this point.
So if there's a lot of people who'll be listening to this saying that sounds very idealistic, it sounds very socialist, it sounds almost borderline communist, right? Like that's what people will be thinking.
I have an answer to that, but that's
no. I want to get to that because they will be the people who have never run their own company or their own business. Because I can tell you, if you own a cafe, you have washed the dishes, cleaned the toilets, sat in on finance meetings, and done the ordering all in a 3-hour space.
Right, exactly.
It's the same thing. It's usually the only person in the business that's doing it is the owner. Yep. And what you're saying is this is dispersed everyone.
Everyone now in the company, everyone feels like I felt in the beginning. You get energy from doing stupid
and empathy
stuff. And exactly. Yeah. And so, if you can't clean up your own shit, then hierarchy will happen. And that again, like that gives room for management culture, and before you know it, you're disconnected from the mission.
In the world that we live in today, I struggle, and I consider myself a hopeful realist.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not optimistic or pessimistic, but I occupy that part in the middle, right? I see the TikTok culture. I see the short attention spans. I see the OnlyFans, gig economy kind of ways of making money. And what I hear people like you and I talk about is a hard sell for a lot of people who just want to make a quick buck. Because what you're essentially saying is, if you're going to come and work at this site up, you've got to care about what you do. You've got to be a conscious employee doing something that you love. Do you see that that's a viable proposition for employees now and in the future?
If you look at how long people stay and they have the room to grow, because we're always thinking of how are you doing we don't want people to come and work at the site up who are now temporarily doing this but this, I really want to be doing this. The only people who work at the site up they are doing the thing that they want to do, period. And that evolves and that develops all directions, different origins, different functions, different expertises. I personally think that, you can keep growing in whatever way. And also, about your communist
Yes, please. I was going to come back
remark.
to that. Come back to it.
Yeah. We all work hard, first of all, to fulfill the mission of the company is to add more value to our partner farmers all over for origin. If we do that, we're a trade company, we have 9 employees. If we do twice as we could, with the same amount of people, we could do twice the amount of coffee.
Mm-hmm.
If things go well,
mm-hmm.
then I don't mind paying all of us twice as much.
Right.
So you're also working. You're working for your own salary to increase your own salary as well.
Mm-hmm.
And everything is still market driven, right? So it's not some quota based weird system where we're
right.
So in that sense, it's the best of both worlds. We are, fully free and fully together, as I said before.
And just for clarity's sake, it's not like you're standing around holding hands, singing Kumbaya and saying like, we just work for the ether and we don't care if we eat and smoking weed all day and blah, blah, blah. Like,
it's hard
you're
work.
an actual functioning business looking at making a profit and doing trade, and this is real business. Yeah.
We're just talking about the mechanics of the company. I mean, in the end, we're a part of this planet. We make profit every year. We're also very public about all the profits that we make and where it goes. But every company needs to make profit. Otherwise, we would be swallowing some kind of outside source of money, which we don't even have. So, we can only live off of our own revenue.
But speaking about that, how do you not be, well, how do I ask this question? What I like to understand is, how do you be a part of the system, this financial system that we were talking about, by not being swallowed up by it? Because from what I see is that a lot of trading houses, and we're seeing a lot of this now, where they're declaring Chapter 11 bankruptcy, right?
Yeah.
I did see the slight smile on your face when I said that.
No, absolutely not. No.
For those of you listening,
rewind and see if
you wouldn't be the only one, let me just say. But there is this trap of knowing how to take risks and not taking, and when to be level-headed, that I feel that's a part of this conversation in trading that we have to have, because it seems as though that can be the thing that really sinks your business.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to remain independent long term, what role does risk appetite play in that?
I think if you don't feel full ownership of the thing that you're working for, you're much, much more likely to take a risk, right? So that's where management culture also plays a huge role in people doing stupid things. Right? If you serve the company you work for directly as an owner, with everything at stake, you're going to make more balanced decisions, and you're going to do them cooperatively, and you're going to do them from the point of view of the mission of the company, which is, if we fuck up, then we fuck up for a worldwide network of farmers who, for a part of their lives, rely on us. That's another part that that is important, that people shouldn't rely too hard on a single trader. But this responsibility is what counters that risk taking. So it's financial responsibility, making sure your cash flow is in order, making sure that we don't buy ridiculous amounts of coffee that we can't sell. So very early in the season, connecting supply and demand so that we know what amount to borrow, what amount to uh, basically create this economy of peace so that everyone can produce exactly what is needed for the price that is set by the whole value chain. That's what mitigates risk, is this the relationship and the transparency of between people in the value chain that is actually unheard of in the industry. And it's weird that it's unheard of. It's weird that we have any decision making power, because we're not doing anything to the product. We're just pushing it from one place to the other. It's the people who are producing it and roasting it who are making the decisions. That's what our job is to match those two, and to indeed to be like a buffer for when things go wrong on both sides. But the more we know about both sides, and the better we all trust each other, again, the less trust the less risk we have. And the large industries' alternative to this is to provide very binding contracts, or just to go to another producer that has a better deal that year. So it's the opposite. What coffee is now is an economy of distrust.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone distrusts each other in the value chain, creating insecurity, creating the inability to invest in the things that are needed to adapt against climate change or social risks. It's very hard in that sense especially in origin, it's very hard to come in and say, look, we're in it for the long term. People have no experience with people like us who are really in for like the long term and for a relationship, and really listen and say, like, look, we're not here to negotiate a price. We're here to tell you what's possible from our market, and we're going to push to make that as high as possible. To be your agent in the European market.
Do you know Felipe Croce?
No.
Okay. I'm going to be so excited about just sitting in a room watching the two of you have a conversation. And everyone who listens to this podcast regularly and has heard Felipe on this podcast is probably thinking, Lennart and Felipe have to have a conversation. You're soul brothers and you don't even know each other. And he's a producer in Brazil.
Is he from Trust Coffee?
No, he's from Faf Coffees.
Okay, yeah.
This is going to be a delight to make this introduction. I do have one more question. And this is something that Felipe and I talk about when we're like having conversations away from the podcast. How do you mitigate the increase in risk connecting back to your values and holding fast to those values as the risk increases in your business?
I think our values are what mitigate the risk.
I love that so much. That answer I love so much.
Yeah. What is risky is negotiating prices down, and not being sure whether you have the same product the next year because you're cramping onto sort of a certain profit margin or something like this. That's what's normal to do. That's very risky. But an ongoing yearly conversation with everyone in the value chain to see what's possible year in, year out with partners that you know and trust, that's not risky. It's the opposite. And I think especially with rising prices, you would say, well, that's good for farmers, but they're still with high prices. They're still in the same casino, and they're still not. They still don't have headspace to make long-term decisions. You make long-term decisions if you have this economy of peace. So us to be able to provide a bit of that is, creating stability and headspace in a weird, wacky world of sea prices and stuff. That's the mission.
In our mastermind groups and with consulting clients, we approach values as a part of the business fundamentals. And we say that defining your values and having clarity around those values, as well as your mission and your vision, they become your board of directors.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying before. That needs to go outside of the human into.
Yep. It becomes the organism that you're talking about.
Exactly.
That's so it. That if you have your business fundamentals clearly defined, you no longer need advisors. That is your advisors. You are being held to account by your values, vision, and mission as your board of directors. You can't betray those. And that's how you run a business driven by your intention. Therefore, you cannot fuck up, and the other people in your business, everybody's moving along the same course. And now you just have to figure out how to use that board of directors to solve problems and monetize that solution.
Yeah. There's two things I want to say about that.
Go.
First of all, it's very hard to work for this side up, because it also requires you to, there's a very deep personal transformational process that goes in everyone as well, because you have to look yourself in the mirror.
Intentionality.
Exactly. So that is painful many other times, but it also, that's what required. It's the growth of the organism is fully dependent on the growth of the humans behind it. So, but what is beautiful about this process of taking this vision and making it a standalone thing is that it's attracting the right type of money. There are people in the Netherlands, but worldwide, who are actually, they're finding us, and they say, we have these weird family funds, or we have, I don't even care where the money comes from. To be honest, I really, it doesn't matter, because what there is an over supply of money that was people realize that it was, that
created from not
be
such
entitled. Exactly. Yeah. And now they want to put into something else. So whether that was weapons or whatever, now they're doing something good with it. This is not a company statement. This is a personal statement.
I don't speak on behalf of the company here. Is that what you're saying?
But maybe I am. I honestly, I don't see the problem. I mean, what matters is that people know what we're going to do with the money and don't want to have a say in it. So they give up the right to direct where we're going with it. And that is the what's exciting now. And actually we have a few social lenders who are willing to take this step with us to make something that is bigger than just this side up, that can potentially fund many more value chains.
It's like this is a way that they're transforming the karma of that money.
Yes, exactly. I'm glad you say that. Yeah.
Well, I have no idea if that's the right way to look at it or not. But we've got to give people who have done really shitty, horrible things, we've got to give them the option of an off-ramp so that they know how to transform the shitty things that they've done into the way back around, so that we can turn this world into something that we're proud of participating in again.
And the way that's being done now through social capital is by having these same people and their egos have a say about the future of these value-driven companies.
Yeah.
And that's the first thing that needs to go. That's what in the end topples these things, because you're amazing initiatives around me. They spend more time convincing shareholders of the path that they're going than actually running the business.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's the pageantry and pompousness. that I have no fucking time for.
Yeah.
All right. Next episode, we're going to be talking about EUDR. And this is going to be, a lot of people are very frustrated by EUDR because they feel like it's an extension of colonialism and all of the things. So how does a values-driven business based in Europe, I mean, the responsibility of compliance is going to be on a business like you. So we're going to explore that in the next episode. Join us, folks. Peace, love, and peanut butter. Have an amazing rest of your day. I really hope you enjoyed this episode, friends. Please don't forget to show us some love by subscribing, liking, commenting, and most of all, sharing this podcast with your friends. Check the show notes for links, including our sponsors and our Patreon. And stay tuned for more great conversations on the Daily Coffee Pro by Map It Forward.